Evaluation. What have you learned about technology from the process of constructing this product? So during this process of constructing this product, we have learned a lot of valuable skills, and we managed to produce an original and completed piece. For example, in the beginning, we didn't know how to use a tripod, but our teacher held a demonstration lesson in which he taught us how to use the tripod efficiently and smoothly. And later on in the preliminary task, we had a chance to experiment with it and learn how to do it quicker and more efficient.
Yeah, we also learned that the camera needs to be adjusted correctly to the tripod, and so we can steady shots, we can film steady shots. And in the beginning it was hard to do it, but gradually we learned how to properly do it, and after we have a lot of brilliance and we produce quality film and constructed a completed piece. Yeah.
Right. Regarding the programs that we used, which were Premiere Pro and Logic Pro, personally I didn't know anything about them, so I had to learn everything from the starting point. And so to actually learn how to use them in the montage of constructing this product, we had to practice a lot. So that's what helped us. And every day we learned new things. For example, the first thing that we used to that we learned was how to put clips together.
Yeah.
And how to, for example,
Make them smooth.
yeah, when we first did it, it wasn't, the filming wasn't smooth. So we had to cut it at a precise place when it could just be nice. And that's what we learned to do. And in the beginning.
We also, after that, for our main production, we needed to change the colors because we were supposed to film at the right time, but we filmed earlier in the first part of the opening sequence, and the sun was up already, and we wanted to give this impression of during the day going up to the sunlight, but not too light. So we had to change
so, like,
the colors.
to symbolize after she's coming from the club,
Yeah.
it's
like
almost sunrise, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's what we tried.
Yeah, and then we tried to change the colors to make them darker. So we used we learned how to use the Premiere Pro, which helped us to efficiently work with the colors. Like, for example, the brightness and the contrast of it.
Yeah.
We could have made it darker, and then if you use the colors, we could have adding more blue, the sky darker and more blue,
and it looked more dramatic.
Yeah, and then for the second part, I remember that we had to make it at the night because then when girls started preparing to go parties, so we had a problem with that because the room wasn't too light. So we wanted to make the difference between the first part and the second part, so we can show darkness and brightness. So what we did was it was the opposite what we wanted when we filmed. So we by editing we had to change it. So what we did, we used the brightness to bright up the colors, and then we added more pink to the colors.
Yes.
And then so also what we did was in one of the scenes, I remember in the first part, it was too dark as well, so we had to make it brighter. So what we were trying to do is to make something smooth. Yeah. So all the colors are similar in the first part, and all the colors are similar in the second part, bright and dark.
And we actually learned that the filming is not the most important part, and in the editing you can do so much. And for example, an example of our production was when the girl is getting ready in the second part and she's putting lipstick and mascara, and we're filming all these little shots of her, but then when we put them together, the filming wasn't smooth. It was very odd because it was like you see an eye and lips.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like we imagined, so we were thinking of something to do about it. So that's when we found about the transitions, and by using the cross dissolve, it brought the feeling that we wanted to transmit to the audience, and it made it much smoother and much nicer to watch, much more engaging. Also, the program Logic Pro allowed us to create our own sound, which we thought would work best for our production. For example, a sad song, a sad piano sound would produce a sad feeling, or a rock sound would produce excitement, and that way we knew what we needed to do, and Logic Pro allowed us to do that, and by combining different kind of sounds into the piece, so we can transmit the mood that we wanted to, which in the first part was a dramatic sad feeling, and we also wanted to add like a suspicion when the guy comes into the screen, so we added like a piano sound, so it could transmit that suspicion to the audience.
It actually changes the piano sound into a suspicious piano sound. Changes the mood of it. Because both of them are piano.
Oh yeah, that's true. And in the second part, we wanted to transmit like a happy sound, a happy feeling, a happy emotion to the audience, and we did that by adding a happy piano sound.
Well, it's a beat.
It's like a beat as well, so it suggests to the audience, it shows the difference between the two parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So going into blogging, I personally haven't had any blog before, so it was like a first experience. But it's a very good way. I learned that it's a very good way of keeping up your work and save everything that you have learned and interact with other people as well. You share everything. Yeah. You share everything you learn. And then you also, it's also for your own good, and also because other people can give you feedback, which helps you sometimes. Because, for example, I remember when we didn't know what title to add to the movie, so we came up with different titles, and then we added them in our blog. And
like a questionnaire.
Yeah, like a questionnaire, and then people were just giving their opinions.
Yeah.
So,
what about the way the blog is designed?
Yeah, the way the blog is designed, we also learned how to adjust the pages, how to upload videos, images, adjust their sizes as well, and also your personal information.
Yeah, and you can add a little bit.
And change the colors, which makes your own blogger and shows your personality a little bit.
Yeah, you can use the blog to show yourself.
Yeah, it's like a way of doing that. Also, by using Premiere Pro, we learn how to use different effects. Because, to be honest, we didn't really know how to use Premiere Pro. The first time when we saw it, it seemed so complicated. But we've been experimenting with many different effects. One of them, as we already said before, was the color, brightness, and then with the transitions. But we needed to go for the sound this time. So I've been researching in sound, and then we found out how to lower down some sound, and then low up, in the background, and then low up another sound, which is sound 1 and sound 2, and then also how to lower sound down when something, like for example the heartbeat, if you remember, it started very slow, like very quiet, and after it went more
quicker. We used speed duration for that, and we made it quicker.
Yeah.
So it would like,
and then the sound. Then we also lower up the sound so you can feel the tension. So we can transmit it to the audience, because they could have seen that something. It could have helped to see that something is going to happen to the girl.
Yeah, to transmit better the emotion and the feeling.
Yeah. And then one
of the most interesting things that it was for me to learn was how to reverse the shot back. For example, when we have our titles and the glass breaking, it's like, what we wanted to do to symbolize that it's going back in time is like to reverse the whole shot. And learning how to do this, it was very, very interesting for me. And I think it had a really, really good effect, because reversing this shot symbolized so much more rather than just a title, because excuse me, it symbolized someone's life being shattered and destroyed, and then when you show that through the glass, it helps the audience understand more that now we're gonna show when she's arrived, when everything started, and it was a very, very smart and good way of showing that.
Yeah, like visually transmitting the everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the emotions mainly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also another thing that we learned about Premiere Pro, and one that I was very excited about, was the slow motion.
Oh yeah.
Like for example, when we used the slow motion first because we really wanted to highlight the moment when the guy attacks the girl the first
yeah.
time. So we had this idea, but we didn't know how to add it. And then we've been searching and asking people and try to experiment with new things. And after we found out how to slow down the moment by using some options, and then
What options?
the slow down motion. Where
Wasn't it again the speed?
Yeah, the
the
speed and the
duration.
duration.
But this time we made it like
like
slower, not quicker.
no. So by using the speed and duration, making it slower, you could have see how the guy attacks the girl, and then you could have feel the moment.
Yeah, and
That's-
combined with the heartbeat, which at the time was getting quicker, and then suddenly it stops, and it's
Yeah.
just the slow motion of the girl getting
Yeah.
attacked. It's very
And no sound, by the way. Well, a very low sound,
low
but
sound,
not how.
yeah.
how
So you
it
can
is.
only focus on what is going on, so you can understand. Like it's
Yeah.
a really bad situation.
Yeah, to show the details and everything.
Different websites have also helped us with the inspiration of the look of the production. For example, we used a lot of Google Images to help us with the mise en scène, the lighting, the camera angles, and it was very helpful and useful to, because we could easily get information that we didn't really know much about, and we could improve our research skills by researching
Yeah.
and learning new things through that.
Yeah, like how to quickly get information. Because
Yeah.
before it was very difficult to find something simple. It took us hours, and after by
Yeah, and we could also watch
practicing
different introductions of films. We could get an idea of what they do and bring our own ideas to create our film. So yeah.
to experiment more than what we had, information that we had.